Here we are. It's Motivation Mornings with Marnie and Melissa. Hi, everybody. It's Melissa Houston, health insurance specialist and financial planner in Victoria, BC. And I'm looking forward to making some handmade holiday cards this year.
Ooh, oh, yay, yay. Oh, fun. And good morning, everybody. I'm Marnie Dangerfield, also here in Victoria, BC, and I'm a wellness and intentional creativity coach and garden advocate. And that just reminded me, yeah, we're going to be making some Christmas ornaments this year with some of the family. So I'm excited about that.
Fun. Love
Hmm.
creativity around the holidays.
Yes. And so welcome if you're joining us live or catching the replay. We always love to hear from you, if any thoughts you want to share or inspirations and such. And just to give you an overview of what's to come, we always like to start with our values, and then we alternate sharing what our inspirations for this week are, and we'd love to hear what's inspiring you as well. And then this week I'll be sharing a wellness tip. Next week, I believe, is that the final Friday? Because that means that's or Wednesday. We'll have
I
to
haven't
see.
looked at the
That'll
calendar, but it could
be
be.
your week. Final Wednesday of the month, anyway. It's when Melissa shares the wellness tip, usually financial. And then we'll share our contact information, our gratitude for the week, and round out with a motivational quote.
Yay. Fun times. So, our value statement. Today we gather
In the spirit of possibility,
in support of community,
to encourage holistic well being,
to empower our authentic selves,
to share appreciation,
to express compassion.
and to enjoy this gift of life.
Yay. Well, I think you will be starting today, will you not, Marnie?
I believe I am. So, what's inspiring me this week is a recommendation of someone recommended this book to me. It's called Hope Matters, and I'll share a picture of it in the. It's called Hope Matters: Why Changing the Way We Think is Critical to Solving the Environmental Crisis by Elin or Ellen. I'm not sure how you're supposed to say that. Elin Kelsey. And it just makes so much sense because we talk about the power of our thoughts and such, and it just makes sense in this whole dealing with the environmental issues that we have, how hope does matter. And so it starts off with talking about how we're focusing on all the problems and the crisis and such. The way we are is we shut down and we kind of close to possibility and such, and it's like somebody nagging you to change something. Doesn't work, right? And so it's how to feed into that hope. And even if you're hearing some good things, the negative stuff overpowers. So excuse me, it's just making so much sense. And talks about how the environmental crisis is also a crisis of hope, but how we can change that with the way we present it and talk about it, and in community, the inspiration we can cause, and how there's a quote: "Hope is a verb with its sleeve rolled up, with its sleeves rolled up," by David Orr. I just love that. So I have not done it, but it's very inspiring.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, hope is another one of those action words like love. And wasn't there another one we were talking about recently that you had mentioned?
Well, it's funny. I was talking about hope already. There's a book called Active Hope by someone else, but yeah, got a hope focus. Need hope. There's always hope.
Yeah. Oh, that's so important too. It's sort of the first step. Can't, how do you hope to make progress if you don't have the idea that it's possible? So yeah, that's awesome. I will definitely need to check that book out. I'll look forward to you posting
Yes,
something in the
I'll
comments.
share the picture. Yep, you bet. So, how about you this week? What's inspiring you?
It's a little on a similar vein. It's funny how often that happens. um, with everything that's happened recently, I haven't been super keen on the traditional media outlets, the traditional news outlets. They haven't been giving me warm fuzzies. Um, And so I thought I would go out of my way a little bit to do a little bit of research and try to find some other sources that resonated a little more with me and discuss topics that I cared about and that. So I wanted to share two that I found that I've been reading recently that I've been enjoying. One of them is called The Narwhal, thenarwhal.ca. So it's a Canadian one. And it has a very environmental focus, although I find they do a really good job at representing Indigenous perspectives as well. And they're, I believe, a nonprofit, so they run on like donations. And but I find the quality and the variety of things that they write about to be really interesting and valuable. And then the other one is called treehugger.com. I don't know if you've heard of that. Apparently, it's been around a while, but that one's more global. And it tends to, again, be on the environmental side. Um, but I find they also do, they seem to really make an effort to write about positive things that are happening too. So it's not quite as serious and like always focusing on the big problems. Like they're also trying to acknowledge the successes and the good things that are happening. And not just in like the fluffy like feel like it's not fluff pieces, it's not just little stuff. Like there's significant good stuff happening and they want to make sure people know about it. So I will post the links for those because whenever I'm reading them, I feel that hope. Other way. I feel that hope. And that's one of the reasons it's been inspiring me lately. But I'm going to keep looking too for more sources because yeah, it's great to read good things that are happening in the world and just being aware of things that actually resonate with you and that you care about.
Oh, yes, most definitely. Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm excited. I so appreciate that you do that. So we're like, oh, look what Melissa's found. You share these feeds and these posts, and it's like, wow, I never would have. So I so appreciate that you have it. You do the research, you look into things, and yeah,
Yeah.
because yeah, and I love to hear that was so funny. Yeah, hopeful messages like, look, good things are happening too, because yeah, all the negative can shut us down. And oh, good morning, Rose and Leanne.
Good morning.
Yes, and Rose agrees. Those do sound very interesting, Melissa. So that's awesome. So thanks for sharing those.
Very happy to. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing what you might have for us a wellness tip.
Yes, well, I'm going to be sharing a blog in the link for people to have a look at. Um, eh, it's the times we're in are the times we're in, and we're heading into a holiday season, so it can bring up things for people at the best of times, but in an increasing pandemic and such, and all the things we're talking about, it can be like, how do you look after yourself and monitor yourself? And this is a blog actually was put out by the Canadian Wildlife Federation, so I was excited to see it. And so it's a blog about simple self-care ideas and how to include them in your busy day. So it's that reminder of how can you couple some of these things. Like, I know I've talked before a lot about the power of the pause and the mindful pause and focusing on your breath and such. But this, I like how it took it a step further of, not only reminding us that we can do these outside in nature as much as we can, and having that check-in sort of when you first start and how you feel afterwards, just so you're connecting in more to your own feelings and sensations. Um, but it's yeah, so it's this is part one of it. So there's just a few options that it offers. So that's why I thought, oh, this will be a good one to share because you can just choose one and see if in your busy day how you can say pair it up with doing the dishes or being in a store, or so it's not like this extra big to do on your daily list, but just a practice that you're starting to introduce where you're monitoring how you're feeling, how you're breathing, what you're thinking, and for me, one of the most powerful ways to do that, and they mention a few in this, but the one I'll outline today is just taking several slow, deep breaths. You can start even just with one. And this, seems obvious, is available at any time, but with our modern day, busy days and such, our breathing, we don't always notice our breathing. We take it for granted that we breathe, which is wonderful and what a gift. But that we also, because we're so busy and we can get caught up in the hecticness of it, it can start the fight or flight mode in our bodies, like and our breathing becomes shallow, and we don't even realize it. So this is just a gentle nudge to what times during your day can you just consciously choose to just slow down for a minute and just breathe more fully. And I encourage you right now in this moment, if you're comfortable, if it's a safe place and time for you to do so, of course, to just slow your breathing down, just to notice your breath. You can even just breathe normally and see, is it shallow? Is it deep? And just see if you can maybe just take a slower, deeper breath in and out just a few times. And what that does too is it starts to calm our nervous system. It sends a message to our parasympathetic nervous system that it's safe. We're in a safer space, and it starts to restore and refresh us. It can help our digestion and other bodily functions, and helps obviously our oxygen and our blood levels, and helps our cortisol levels. So it's one of those things that seems so simple, but I know for me too, it's because I get caught up in the day and the busy and the rushing, and it's like to just find times in your day where you just pause and breathe and just slow that breath down and just kind of just take in that, okay, wait, I am safe. I am looking, what do I need right now? Like maybe all of a sudden you realize, wow, I'm really thirsty and I didn't notice it. Or, oh, I didn't realize I was breathing so shallowly. So it's kind of one of those things that's easy to kind of dismiss, but just the power of mindful breathing. It is such a gift. And it's I think exciting to know how much good it can do for us for such a seemingly simple thing. And so just playing with it throughout your day and different times of, especially, you start to feel like your shoulders are really crunched up or something. And just, if you can get outside in nature, great. But even if not, just taking that pause to focus on your breath, and just calm your nervous system. Let yourself know you're okay. So, yeah.
Awesome. You know what I'm inspired to do now? I was like, I'm going to make a sticky note, and it's just going to put breathe on it. I'm going to put it in a different spot in the house. And every time I see it, I'll stop and pause and do some mindful, slow breathing.
Yes, that's wonderful. Yeah. And so yay, I'm excited to hear how it goes. And this is great. Rose has mentioned that she's got a breathing exercise on her
Ooh,
Fitbit app on her phone. So,
really?
woohoo.
That's
That's wonderful.
excellent.
Mm-hmm.
You Fitbit.
Mm-hmm. And I'll do it sometimes. I've got it linked now. I don't drive as much as I used to, but if I'm stopped at a red light, I see it as okay, it's like it's taken me a while it just happens, but it was a practice. I was like, when I'm at a red light, I'm just going to breathe. Notice how I'm breathing. So this can be with the dishes,
I'm usually
anything like that.
in the car, so
What was that?
I'm usually singing in the car.
Well, there you go. See, but
So
that's why it's each person. It's what works for them, right? So got to do what feels what works for you in your day. So
yeah, yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Marnie. And I'll look forward to seeing the rest of that post too, of the other ideas that it was talking about. That's awesome. Thank you. All right, let's share our contact information. Here we are. As always, you can reach us via email at motivation.mornings@gmail.com. Our Facebook page, you're probably here, but if not, it's at MM with MM. I highly encourage you to visit us there so that, as we've mentioned, we share the resources we discuss in the comments underneath the posts here, or not posts, the live videos. And our Instagram is motivation_mornings_with_mm. I've got reminders on Wednesday mornings. So if you're just waking up and checking Instagram, you'll know that we are going live at 7:30. And I also post our quotes each week on there. Then we have our YouTube channel. So anyone who isn't able to join us live, but likes to go on YouTube and have reminders whenever we post the recording. You can subscribe on there, and then that way you get the notices. Some people like that. That's definitely an option. Highly support that. All right.
All right. So, do you have a gratitude? What are you grateful for this week?
Mine isn't anything especially different for this week. It's just lately we've had some very windy and rainy days. And I have been feeling exceptionally grateful for my home, for having a place that I can be dry and safe and warm, because that is something to take, or that's easy to take for granted. And not everyone has that privilege. So I've been feeling really grateful for that lately.
Yes. It's true, but I was thinking the similar thing for this week
Yeah.
because it has been so wet, and this isn't a complaint, it just is, but it's just been, and the wind, to have to be out, to not have shelter when there's that much wind and that much rain, yeah, really hit home this week, literally, that I fortunate enough to have shelter and stay dry. And so that's, yeah, I echo that for sure. So, and feel free to share in the comments what you're grateful for this week. If you're called to, we'd love to hear. Yeah, Rose is agreeing. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, safe and secure. Exactly. So much to be grateful for.
That's just one thing. We can.
Well, oh, I know we could go, but but it is nice because it is something we can take for granted, just as, but it's, definitely not everybody has that.
All right. Well, I'll switch over to our motivational quote. But yes, if you have any other gratitudes you want to share, please put it in the comments. And if you're watching the recording, please share them then too, because we would still love to see them. So today I picked this quote because it is astronaut Alan Shepard's birthday. And this is one of his quotes, which is a little different than normal, but I liked it. If somebody said before the flight, "Are you going to get carried away looking at the Earth from the moon?" I would have said, "No, no way." But yet, when I first looked back at the Earth standing on the moon, I cried. We live in a very beautiful place. I can only imagine what that would have been like. I get
Exactly.
teary-eyed just thinking about it, quite frankly.
I know, it's like this big, beautiful earth. Oh my gosh. To take it in from that. And it's beautiful. And I just love how you know things like that it's Alan Shepard's birthday today.
I do look things up. It's not all just in here.
Oh, I just assume. No, you've got a computer up there. I know the truth.
Well, thank you so much for everyone who joined us live today. I'll have to look at, hang on, I'm going to look at the calendar. Is it? Yes, it is the last Wednesday next week. I will have a financial wellness tip next week for you. And Marnie will pick our quote. But in the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful Wednesday and a great rest of the week.
Most definitely. Thank you all. Thanks for joining us live too, Rose and Leanne.
Yes, thanks.